Hello guys and welcome to Code with Rashid. In today's video, we are going to discuss list in Python. List is an order collection of different type of objects in Python. So this is a signature of list. How do we define it? First of all, we need to define the square bracket, then 0 or n number of elements, and then the closing square bracket. So these are the signature of list. Now we will see some properties of list. The first property we have here is list are ordered. Mean list always maintain their order. So let's take an example. We say list 1 is equal to 1 2 3 4. Okay. Now similarly we take one more list, that is list 2. Okay. So now we compare the values. List 1 is equal to list 2. So we will see what's the result. If these lists are equal, the result will be true. Okay. We'll run the program, then we will see the output. So it is true. So so the meaning is that both of these lists are equal. That's why the result is true. But now what if I change the index of 3? I'll move it to. So I have changed the index. Now if I will run the program again, you will see the result is false. This is because the list always maintain their order. So this is the first property, list are ordered. Okay. Now we will see a second property, that is lists can contain any arbitrary objects. What does it mean? It means that list can store different type of objects. Like we will take a list 1 is equal to, we'll first put integer number, then we'll put the float number, then we'll put the string. Okay. Now what if I print the results? Okay, list 1. I will execute this program, then you can see that we have printed all the different type of objects. Okay, so it means that list can store different type of objects, but not only different type of values. It can also store complex objects like function, classes, and modules. So we will see one more example here. In this case, so we say it list. Okay, 2 is equal to, we'll store the data types int, float, decimal is not type. So let's save string. Okay. Now we will also put we define a function sum. Okay. Let's say sum is lambda xy x plus y. Now we will store this function in the list. Okay. Now if I run the program, then you will see that it's still a valid string list and it's printing those elements. Okay, let's run this program. So it has printed int, float, string, and function object successfully. So it indicates that list can also save complex objects as well. Okay, now we'll go to the third property, that is list elements can be set by index. So let's take a numbers list. Okay, 4 2 5 3 7 9 6. Okay, this is the list we have. Our requirement is to actually print 5. Okay, how will we do that? First of all, we need to see how the numbers are stored in the list. The numbers are stored from index 0 onwards. So the first element is stored on index 0, the second element is stored on index 1, third element on index 2, fourth element index 4, and the fifth element is stored on index 5. So the indexing starts from 0 in list. Okay, so we'll say we need to print say numbers and 5, sorry, numbers of 1. That will fetch the element on the index 1 and will print it, that is 5. Similarly, let's say we are given a requirement to actually print the first element of the list. Okay, it's very easy. You will simply do numbers 0. That will print the first element of the string. Okay, that is 2. Now our next requirement is to actually print the last element of the list. We can simply say, okay, print numbers. We'll calculate the index first. 0 1 2 3 4. We'll say number 4. Okay, 4. Okay, so If we run the program, then we will have 6 here. Okay, that's easy. But what if we don't know the length of the list? Okay, let's say we have unknown element in the list, and we are given a requirement to actually print the list last element of the list. So how will we achieve this? In this case, we can use negative indexing. We'll say simply -1. If we run the program, then you will see that we have got 11 as an output. So what is happening here? If we put the positive integers, positive values, that start from here, okay, from left to right, the indexing start from here. But what if we put negative numbers? The negative indexing start from right to left. So this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4, and onwards. Okay. So if we want to print the second last element, we will simply say, okay, print numbers -2. Okay. It will print the 10th value, and this is the negative indexing. Now we will see one more concept, that is how can we print multiple values of the list. Let's say we are given a requirement to actually print the values of from 3 to 6. So how will we achieve this? We simply give the range in the list. Okay. For that purpose, we will say, okay, let's start from index 2. Okay, and print all the values on before index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before index 5. So this value will not be included. So it means that it will start from 2, and until it will start from 2, it will print all the values, get all the values before this number, before this index. So in this case, it will include index 2, 3, or 4. So if we will run this program, we will see that we have got 3, 7, and 6. Okay. But now we'll take one more example when we don't provide the starting index. In this case, if we don't provide the starting index is always 0. So we will have 2, 5, 3, 7, 6. Now what if we put the starting index 1 and we remove the ending index? Okay. So we have not given the ending range. So in this case, the ending value will be the up to the last element of the list by default. So it will include all the elements from 5 onward to 11. Okay, 5, 3, 7, 6, 10, 11. And now what if we remove both of these values? Okay, we don't have any range value. In this case, the starting value is 0. The ending value is up to the end of the list. So in this case, it will print the whole list. Okay, this is the range. Now I'll show you how can you use the negative range. This is the positive range. Okay, now positive values range. Now we'll use the negative values range. In this case, we say numbers. Okay, start from -5 and to -1. Okay, so what is the output in this case? So we have 3, 7, 6, 10. What's happening here? It is saying start from -5, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Okay, start from 3 and print all the elements before -1, for index -1, that is 3, 7, 6, and 10. So it has printed all these numbers using negative indexing range. So this was the third property. Now we'll go to the fourth property, and that is list can be nested to arbitrary depth. What does it mean? It means that we can increase the level of depth up to any number, to any level. Okay, so for that purpose, we will first define a list. Okay, we say we have got 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. Now we print the list, print numbers, run this program. This is so simple. If we need to print the first element, we want to print 2, we'll say index 1. That's easy. But now what if we have one more list? Okay, 4 and 5. So now the depth is 2. This is the outer list and this is the inner list. Okay, and now what if we need to print 4? So if we will do this, so first of all we'll check the index of that list. This is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3. So this is index 0, index 1, index 2, and this list is stored as a whole on index 3 of the outer list. So we will say 3. If we run this program, it will print the whole list. Okay, See, but our requirement is to actually print the value of 4. For that we will provide the indexing for the inner list. That is, in the inner list the 4 is stored on index 0. So we will say simply 0. If we will run this program, we will have the value of 4. Okay. Now what if we add one more level and we say we have one more list inside the inner list, that is 7, 8 and 9, and we are given the requirement of print 8. In that case, how will we achieve this? Okay. First of all, we will see the outer indexing 0, 1, 2. This index is, this list is stored on the index 2. So index 3. So we will say index 3. If you run this program, you will see it has printed this whole inner list. Okay. But we want to print 8. For that we will use the, now we will use the inner list indexing 0, 1 and 2. Sorry, 2. So this list is stored on the second index on the in the inner list. So we will say okay, second. So now if we run the program, then we will have this list printed. Okay. Now we want to fetch the value of 8. For that purpose, we will see the index of 8 in this list. That is on index 1. Okay. So we will say index 1. And now it has printed the value of 8. So it's clear that this can be nested to arbitrary depth. We can have any number of depth in index in the list. Okay, it's up to us. Now we will see the fifth property of the list, and that is lists are mutable. What does mutable mean? It means the list can be changed. List is changeable. Okay. For that purpose, we'll take a list 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we say we will print the list, and then our requirement is actually we want to change the value of 3 with 7. Okay. How will we achieve this? We will simply say numbers. The index of 3 is 2, so we will say on index 2 put this value now. So once I will put the output in the numbers list, okay, we will see the change value. The original list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The new list is 1, 2, 7, 4, 5. Means we have changed the value 7 on in the index 2. Okay. This is the first example. Now what if we want to change the list of values? Okay. We are given a requirement to actually replace 2 and 3 with 7 and 8. How will we achieve this? You can simply say numbers. Okay. In the range, let's start from index 1 to index 3. It means start from index 1 to 2 and then put the values. We'll say 7 and 8. So these two values 2 and 3 will be replaced with 7 and 8. If we run the program, then we will see we have got the modified output. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 7, 8, 4, 5. So we can also change the range in indexing, okay, in the list. So now we will see some built-in function of list. So we are given a list. Now what we will do is we want to append a new number at the end of the list. How will we achieve this? We will use the append function. Okay, we will say print append 10 at the end of the list. So it will simply append 10 using this function. Okay. So we will see one more function. Now we say that instead of append, we want to append the number of particular location in the list. We will say insert, then the index value. Okay, we say index 2, and then the new value we say 11. So we are saying on index 2 replace 3 with 11. If we run the program, then we will see the output is modified one, and we have index 2. Okay, that is inserting, that is not replacing. So we are simply saying insert this element on index 2. So what it will do is it will go to the index, insert 11, then move the remaining values to the next index. Okay, so like 3 is moved to index 3, 4 is moved to index 4, and the 5 is moved to index 5. Okay, so this is the insert function. Now we'll see one more function. What if we want to remove an element? For that purpose, If we remove from the end, we will simply say numbers dot pop. Okay, then run this program, then you will see we have removed 5 from the list. So by default the value of pop is -1, so it will always remove from the end of the list. But if we want to remove from a particular list, particular location, what we will do is, if we want to remove 3, we will say 0 1 2, remove it from index 2, we will specify this value, so it will remove the value of 3, the new list is without 3. This is a pop function. We have also got remove function. How does it work? So we will say numbers dot remove. Okay, we say the value, remove the value of 4. So we are not giving the index value here, we are giving the actual value we want to remove. So in this case, it will remove the value of 4 from the list. The new list is without 4. But what if we put one more 4 here? Okay, we will say we have got 2 4s. Okay, so this function will not remove both of these values, it will not remove both 4s. It will iterate from the list, and whenever it will find the first value of 4, it will remove it, then it will stop. It won't remove the next value of the 4. If I run this program, then we will see the 4 after 3 is removed, and now we have got one remaining 4, that is after 5. This is the remove function. We can also remove elements using the del keyword. Del, then the index of the number. We will say remove the last element. Okay, -1. Remove the last 4. If we run this program, then we will see we have removed the last 4. Okay. Okay, this is the del keyword we can use. Let's see if I remove this. Okay. Now, what if I append a list? Okay, we say we want to append further elements, so we provide 10 11 and 12. If I run this program, then you will see we have appended 10 11 and 12, but this is appending as a list. We want to append as a values, like after 5 we want to have 10 11 and 12, but without list. How will we achieve this? For this purpose, we will use a new function, that is extend. Okay, how does it work? It will take the value of the list, each value of the list, and append it to our original list. So if I run the program, then we will see that we have got values instead of a list 5 and 10 11 and 12. This is the extend function. Now we will see one more function, that is sort. So if we want to, first of all, let's say first take the example of reverse function. We have got a reverse function, and we want to reverse the string. We will simply call reverse, and then if we will print the result, we will see that the string is reversed, the list is reversed. Okay, so originally we have 1 2 3 4 5, after reversing it is 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, so we will do the next example, that is we want to, let's put some arbitrary numbers, 10 9 20 27 and 5. So our requirement is to actually sort this list. How will we achieve this? We will say numbers dot sort. Now if we run the program, then we will see we have got the sorted list 5 9 10 20 and 27. This is the sort function. Okay, so these are some input, these are some built-in function for the list that we have just executed. So if you want to see the more function, then you can Google it and search like Python list function. Then you will get a list of all those functions that you can perform on the list. So now we'll move to the next property of the list, that is lists are dynamic. What does it mean? It means that list can shrink and expand according to requirements. So take a list of numbers 1 2 3 4 and 5, and we say we remove a range. We say del numbers, okay, 2 index 2 and index 3. Okay, we are removing 2 numbers, then we are printing the numbers list. That's it, printed before deleting as well. Okay, print numbers. So now if I run this program, you will see that previously So we have removed 3, del 2 and 3. So how does it work? We'll show you the numbers here. Okay. So what's happening here? When we perform the first del operation, what happened? It has deleted the element on index 2, that is 3, 0, 1, 2. So it has removed 3 and 4 and 5 are moved to one level before. Okay, previously 4 was on index 3, now it is moved to index 2. 5 was on index 4, now it is moved to index 3. This is the first operation after the first operation. Okay, then we have got this new list. Okay, we deleted one more element. Now again we delete the element on index 3, and here the index 3 is 0, 1, 2 and 3. So it removed the element 5 and our new list is 1, 2, 4. So list can shrink according to our requirements. Now we will expand it. Now we will say take one more example. Okay, we say instead of shrinking we are appending element. We say our numbers, and we want to replace 2 and 3 with the new numbers. We say index 1 onward to index 4, and we put the new values like 10, 20, 30, 40. Although we are saying we want to replace these two numbers, and we are giving the new numbers. Okay, so if we run this program, then we will see that we need to print this result as well. Print numbers. Okay, let's execute this, and now you will see 2 and 3 are removed, even 4 is removed. Okay, it's removing from index 1 to 3, 1, 2 and 3. Yeah, so we need to specify 3 here. Okay, so if we want to replace only these two numbers, we need to define, okay, remove index start from 1, and before index 3 replace these two values. So if we run this program, okay, we will see that 2 and 3 is removed, and in their position we have appended more elements, that is 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay, and now 4 and 5 are moved to next possible indexes. So here we are expanding the list. So we can see here that the lists are dynamic. You can shrink and expand according to our requirements. These are some properties of list. Now we'll see some built-in function that we can built-in function of Python that we can perform on list. So this is our list 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we want to find out the maximum number. Okay, let's take some arbitrary numbers. We'll say make it 20. Okay, we'll make it 35. We'll make it 10. Okay, so our requirement is to print the minimum number out of these lists. Okay, numbers, we'll say min, Python built-in function min, and numbers list. If we run this program, then we have got the minimum number 4. Okay, now we'll get the max value, max. So we have got the maximum value of the list. Okay, now we'll get the length of the list. Okay, length keyword, and we'll see that we have got the length of the list. Okay, that is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also call the Python built-in function to sort the list, sort it. So you will see that the list is sorted now. So 4, 5, 10, 20 and 35. So along with this own function, we can also call Python built-in function on the list. So guys, this was our topic today. So if you like our video, you can subscribe to our channel, and please recommend our video to your friends, and we'll come back with the next video inshallah. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.